Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday and welcome to Dreamstruck. We are so excited because we are starting a new month. We're starting a new catalog season, and we are also beginning a new incentive season. So it's all the reason for each and every one of us to be excited about the world of Scentsy, about our businesses, about all the potential. And we have all of our amazing panelists here tonight to share some tips. We've been around for a minute, and we've learned through some mistakes, trial and error. And so we want to share some awesome tips so that way we can kick this off together and really flip out in February. This February is, I think it's going to be even more amazing than last year because we have even more exciting products and future LTOs that are coming. But we're not going to focus on the LTOs. That's going to be the cherry on top of the cake or on top of the ice cream. We're going to focus on the book, the catalog, and everything that we have right before us now, because you know what? Even without an LTO, it's enough. I also want to speak for myself. I know I haven't been here since December, and I really want to say thank you to each and every one of my peers for holding down, the fort. And that's exactly why we kind of created and had this vision of having multiple panelists. So that way, if, life happens like it did for me, this doesn't have to stop. The continuity can continue. So I just want to say thank you all for continuing this in my absence, because this isn't a one man or woman show. It takes a village, and I'm so glad that you guys are a part of my tribe and that we have an awesome village that keeps pushing through, no matter what. No excuses, right? Okay, so one of the things I want to do is I want to start off with something, a video. And I want to preface this before we jump into it. I want to tell you some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight are going to be Scentsy Club 2.0. That starts now, and there's some training videos on the workstation, and we're going to kind of give a quick summary. And if you have any questions, we may not be able to answer all of them because we have access to the same information that you do. And so we're learning as we go along, but hopefully we know enough that we can kind of deliver some of the tips tonight to get that kicked off. We're also going to go over brick by brick. So if you have any questions about that, again, we're learning right alongside with you. And there is a FAQ, but we want to kind of talk about that because we don't want to waste any time. We want to start like right now, building our bricks. And what else are we going to talk about? Oh, Harry Potter. And if there's anything else, put it in the chat. If there's anything else you want to talk about, that's what we're here for. And we're also going to talk about the book. What is the book? The book is the new catalog, and that really should be our meat and substance, and everything else should just, really be extra for us. So we want to talk about the book. Okay, we're going to jump into this video, and I want to preface this because this video comes from Hawaii. It's about 5 minutes long, and I really want to encourage you, if you have like your Dreamstruck notebooks, or even if you have a piece of mail, whatever it is, get a pen and get something to write with and on, because we want to start this off with a message from Orville. He was talking about incentives. Why are incentives important for our businesses? You'll notice that this business, there's not a lavish trip at the end. We're not going to Hawaii or Mexico or whatever, and that's okay. There's still going to be some great, handsome rewards that's very impactful for our businesses. But we really want to talk about the power behind the incentives. Why do we want to work these incentives year round, regardless of what the prize or the rewards are? So you're going to see Orville's legs. You're going to see a whole bunch of people's feet, because as we were in this little circle, there's nothing NDA, non-disclosure agreement, that's a part of it. This is really great information. But I was taking notes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to record this because I don't know if I can write fast enough. And so that's why it's not going to be cosmetically appealing. But if you can really take notes to the powerful words that Orville speaks about incentives, now is the right time as we're getting ready to embark on the brick by brick spring summer incentive. All right. So And then, of course, we're going to go around to the panelists and talk about the other topics that we just mentioned. All right, we're at about 80 people here. You guys keep it coming. Continue sharing Dreamstruck and the link, and let's get to 100 tonight. All right, let me see how I can share this content. And just bear with me for just one moment. We'll get it up and going. So I want to share my screen. Yeah.
But in our compensation plan, there are gaps in motivators. Because a compensation plan can't motivate everything. So you'll create an incentive your incentive fills in the gaps between what you are and what you need in order to have a successful business to get to where you're going. Okay. So what we'll notice in a period of time, a lot of people bogging down in their growth because of a certain activity. We really don't have people not progressing to, well, and let's set the goal of what, the goal of a Sensi business is to increase your capacity to control your income, right? It's not to always make more money, it's to, if you want to make $1,000 a month with your Sensi business, we want to help you get to where you have control over that $1,000. It's not just arbitrary, it's not based on other people, it's not based on luck. You have control of it. If you want to make $100,000 a month, how do we help you get to the point where you have control over that level of income? The compensation plan is the main tool that we use to motivate you to engage in the behaviors that will lead you to those results, that control. But what we notice is over time, there are gaps in that motivation. And sometimes people might be able to recruit. Early on, people could recruit, but they weren't selling enough. So you have a $2,000 monthly sales award to teach and encourage the behavior of selling $2,000 a month until people believed, oh, I can do $2,000 a month. In fact, that's my basic goal. But before 80 Mitchell, most people told us that that was too high of a number and no one would ever reach $2,000 a month in monthly sales. And the number one advocacy of our leaders was to lower the monthly sales award because 2,000 was a ridiculous number no one could achieve. 80 came around and was hitting $4,000 a month on a regular basis, and everyone all of a sudden believed that 2,000 was okay. Now, many people set a basis of 2,000 in sales. Sales isn't really the limiting factor for most people's control of their income. It is, if they want their income to be more than $500 a month. It is now gaps in consistent sponsoring and developing people into leaders who are self-directing the growth in their business. If you get 6 people who will become superstar directors with or without you, you will eventually be in the circle of excellence, right? Yeah. Circle of excellence is incredibly difficult. Not because it's complicated to get there, it's just finding 6 people who can make it to superstar director with or without you. And so that's a simple task, difficult to do. The incentive programs, what we start to notice is lots of people are selling fine, but they can't, but they're not focused enough on finding people who want to be leaders. So let's put this big gap needs to be filled. So let's create an incentive trip, put the centerpiece of that incentive trip sponsoring new people and helping them get to the point where they're self-directed leaders, to teach the habit of anybody who seeks for this trip learns the habit of finding people that can do that. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense.
So that's what the incentive trip is designed to identify the gaps currently in the incentive structure that we provide through the compensation plan or monthly sales or annual sales or things like that, or monthly awards. So when we start focusing on non-PRV points, it's PRV is not the problem for people getting to the point where they can control their own income. It is these other activities. It's sponsoring, it's promotions, it's leadership. That wasn't specific enough because the real gap is sponsoring potential leaders. And so that's what the centerpiece of this incentive is. Those who get it and learn that habit will more likely get to the point where they control their income. Those who don't get it, fight against it, or feel like, I don't want to get to that point. All I want is to go on an incentive trip, and I'm selling enough, why don't I get rewarded for that? You got rewarded for your sales by your commissions.
Correct.
The incentive trip is solely, from our perspective, 100% to teach behaviors that will allow you to get to the point where you can control your income.
Okay. Thank you very much.
It's not just a reward for making us money.
Okay, make sure I can get over here. Okay, so I hope that you all were able notes. I know it's a sloppy video. I wasn't prepared to record any. I just remember, when you're in a room with Orville, in my opinion, he's really a genius at his art. And so I remember asking the question about sponsoring and incentive trips and, and everything else. Because sometimes you hear people say, why do we have to sponsor? I don't want to sponsor. I just want to sell. And that's okay. You absolutely have that option to just sell. You can sell 2,000, 3,000, 10,000. But one of the things that we have to make clear is there's just one of you, and there's only so much that you can honestly sell, right? Without depleting yourself and burning yourself out month after month, year after year. And so a lot of people, as you get integrated in Sensi, you're like, there's a lot of income opportunity here. Well, when you see individuals earning trips, increasing their income, what are they doing? What are the behaviors that they're exhibiting? They're not just selling, they're doing some of the, things like Orville said. It's actually simple. We need a sponsor, but some people are like, well, I don't want to, and that's okay. It's absolutely a choice. And so people are like, well, why can't I earn the trip, or why can't I earn, the summer spring incentive? Because there are components that are built into all of our incentives that allows us, if we follow it, year round or whatever, whenever you choose, it allows us to have control over our income. So when you write yourself a dream check and say, I want to earn 1,000, my dream is to earn 1,000 a month with Sensi, or 2,000 or 10,000 or whatever. Sensi's saying, that compensation plan is awesome if you want to earn money, but there's a gap if you want to control the future of your income. If you want to continue to build and build, like we're getting ready to do, brick by brick, there are some gaps in the compensation plan. The compensation plan basically tells you this is what you can get paid today. The incentive trip says, if you follow this map and this outline, this is how you can continue to foster, or increase your income month after month, year after year, and you get to have control over that. If you want a $1,000 paycheck or a $500 paycheck, whatever that looks like for you, you can control that. But there's a partnership. There's sponsoring and there's PRV, right? So I want to kind of open the floor, and I think Carol's on. Good. Okay, Carol, if you, watching that video and with your experience over the years, I mean, you've been here almost since, I think, year one. What is your take on that when you hear someone say, I want to earn the incentive, but I don't want to sponsor?
You can't. I mean, plain and simple, that is part of earning an incentive, is that you have to sponsor. It is hard. It's probably, well, so what I found with incentive trips is it shows you what your business is lacking. So, and it shows you where you need to focus on, because sponsoring is building a team and helping that person. Now, it sucks because part of that is you are reliant on what they do, but then again, that shows you that maybe you have to work on leading people a little bit better, or coaching, or getting those new people off to a fantastic start. So every incentive I've ever been at, there's always a sponsoring component. And so you've got to do that. You have to sponsor. Otherwise, you'll just be rewarded, like Orville said, with a paycheck and for selling.
Yeah, and there's also some legalities involved too, because we do have the FTC that looks over us, and the DSA, and with that, when we have incentive trips, they just can't be earned by sales alone. Maybe years back that was a thing, but we're always guarded because we never want to become in that pyramid category. And so there are safeguards for, direct sales companies to make sure that there's just not one path to earn these, amazing trips and stuff. And I don't know if there's another panelist that can kind of speak to the 2x2x2 rule. I know Jen Audette speaks about it often, which is if you can sponsor 2 new team members per month. Well, actually, who can speak on that? Okay, Amber, I think I saw your.
Yeah, I picked up on that somewhere some time ago, and it stuck with me because I'm a visual person and I'm a numbers person. So, and y'all forgive me, you're just going to have to interrupt me if my Wi-Fi goes crazy because I'm not on LTE tonight. But anyway, yeah. And so the thing about that is, so what it is if you focus on sponsoring 2 people, brand new people every single month, and absolutely not accepting anything less than 2,000 PRV every single month for 2 years, I'm not sure, or forever in my case. Once I clicked with it, I was just like, yes, baby, I like this. Not only did I see a big difference in my paycheck, but I saw a huge difference in my business. I mean, a huge difference in my business. And I put in the chat, like, these incentive trips are the number one reason, 100% why I was able to step away from my full-time job, because the way it started out for me was for fun. We love to travel and I love free. So we were like, yeah, earning all the trips and stuff once we started earning. And then one year I put my W-2 from teaching next to my 1099 from Cincy. And I was like, well, would you look at that? There's just not much of a gap there. But yeah, if you focus on hitting that every single month, incentive or no, some people take time off when Cincy doesn't have an incentive go, and that's crazy talk to me because it's so much harder to pick it back up, right? But yeah, and it doesn't mean that every single month I get my 2 recruits. I do get my 2,000 PRV, because I'm also going to capitalize on that compensation plan, right, and get that 5% bonus. But the way my mind works is, like, if I don't get 2 this month, then my goal next month is 4. If I don't get 2 that month, then my goal next month is 6. I've gotten myself up to, my goal was 12 one month. Did I reach it? No, but I don't lose steam. It just makes me push myself that much harder. And it has, of course, paid off. And I did get my 2 last month, so I don't have to go for 4 this month. If God blesses me with 4, I'm here for it. But I did get my 2 last month.
That's an awesome way to lead yourself and incentivize yourself too. So thank you. Emily, you also raised your hand. Is there anything that you want to add? If someone were to follow that 2x2 rule, and Carol did put in the chat, that it's between 2 to 5 years. And that's a path that I followed. I felt that it was very simplistic. When I learned out about that rule, it was in 2017. I was a director and I followed that rule. And I'm now a superstar director, and I'm going to pass this over to Emily real quick. If someone were to follow that, what's the outcome within 2 to 5 years?
Jen Audette would say when she would teach this 2x2x2 is that you would have potentially always potentially the income of making what a doctor or a lawyer makes. So again, and I know it can sometimes seem sort of monotonous or get boring, stale after a while to feel like you're doing the same thing all the time, but there is proof in consistency and sticking with it. So where you feel like maybe you're like, oh, I'm so tired of just repeating myself all the time, find ways to spice your business up, change things up. You know, if you're tired of doing Facebook parties, change it up and do basket parties or text parties, or, you know, focus on promoting club, or, you know, find ways to kind of keep it interesting to you, but stay consistent at the core of doing the 2,000 PRV minimum, because why not? You want that 5% and capitalize on that. And the 2 recruits, because remember, it is a numbers game. And when you don't have that, you know, it's like we have a water pail with holes in the bottom. People don't stick around. This is a voluntary sales force. People come and go. And so you have to always be sort of rewatering or repotting your bucket there, and be bringing new people in, because some people don't want the business, as Orville mentioned in that video. Some people don't want to be self-directed leaders. So what you're doing is you're constantly going through a sifting or a refining process. Every time you share the opportunity and you bring someone on board, you're kind of feeling them out. Do they have the potential of being my next director? Do they have the potential of leading their own organization? And so that's really sort of the approach you have to take.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you, Emily. You know, that is what Jen Audette would say, is that, you know, if you follow that rule of thumb, that you could potentially make the income of what doctors and lawyers make, you know, and I followed that. And like I said, you know, I started seeing those paychecks. I was like, whoa. And the reason why you want to recruit at least 2 per month is, again, everyone's not going to want it. Some people are going to want to be hobbyists and you can't make anyone. But if you that pool, that's 24 people a year that you're bringing on. That leads you to annual mentor, you know, the potential for earning annual mentor. And then these individuals, they're growing. And in that pot, there's someone that's going to meet or match your fire. That's like, oh my gosh, I'm a go-getter. I can be led, self-driven. I see the potential. I see the opportunity. Everyone's not going to come in the gate that way. And some people are going to exit the gate. And so what happens is, if you're not constantly having sponsoring on your mind and you're only thinking LTOs and catalog and sales, then what's going to happen is you might see, you could, if you have other dreams and ambitions and aspirations, you might see your income kind of dwindling because it's you driving the ship. Why not have multiple drivers? And some of the examples are like where you have 7-Elevens and I don't know, Circle K's. There's all these little, what are they called? Franchises, I believe. So every time you bring on a new team member, it's like you're building a franchise. And you're supporting them and you're mentoring. You're not running their 7-Eleven or their McDonald's or their Circle K, but you are mentoring them to show them, you know, the ropes. And then from there, they take it and, you know, it becomes an income building opportunity, not just for you, but obviously for them as well. Okay. Kelly should be on there as well. If you want to unmute yourself, we're getting ready to go into the brick by brick challenge, but someone just asked a question and I do want to respond to it, where they were asking about how do you respond to some people that are like, oh, I don't support MLMs. I really don't encounter that myself, but Kelly, if you want to unmute yourself, how do you have you encountered that? And then how do you suggest your team respond to the anti-MLM, you know, individuals?
I think the best way to do it, you can go one or two ways. One, you can either ignore it or you can come back with some positivity. I'm not going to argue with somebody whose mind is already made up because you're just wasting your time. There's so many people in our business and businesses that are around us that have given what we do a bad name. And the only way that we can do it is to try to flip the script completely on them, which would be by coming back with some positivity, maybe offering some samples, finding out why they don't like MLMs, because if you can get to the root of the cause, then you can maybe try to fix it, or I don't want to say put a Band-Aid on it, but make it not sting so much, because it's, I take it personal. And I don't know about you guys, but I take it personal. I feel like it's an attack on me, and I try to divert it because I don't want to react off my emotions, because this is my baby. This is my job. This is my life. And I feel like when you say that, you're talking about it, and it's a definitely a touchy subject, especially for me with that. But I used to be one of those people, and how I flip it is I say, you know what? I used to think the same way, or I used to feel the same way. Before I joined this business, I hated direct sales, and I promised that I would never do another one again. And now everybody's not going to have the same experience, but I share my experience with them, and I tell them who I belong to, and I tell them why it didn't work out for me, and give them all of the reasons why. And I tell them that I was never going to join another MLM or a direct sales again in my life. And since he kind of fell on my lap and changed my mind. When I joined, I didn't want to have a team. I didn't want to teach anybody. I didn't want to coach anybody. And you know what, when I do my presentations and they have me go over through my story a little bit, I tell them my first 2 or 3 people that I sponsored, I told them to go on YouTube and find somebody to train them, because I was not going to do it. I was the worst sponsor in the entire world. So I am very open about that. I'm very open about the other companies, what I didn't like, and then the difference that I experience here at Sensi, that it's a family, that we help each other, that we encourage each other, that we cheerlead for each other. But not only that, we share ideas, and it can be as simple as, you know what, maybe I'll take Emily because she's staring at me in my computer right now. Emily's not good with words, let's say, but you know what, I am. But Emily's great with making images. You know what? So we joined together. I don't know, me and Teresa have gone and brainstormed on so many different things where you take this and I take this and we join as a team. And at the end, we have this end result that is something almost fruitful. We both are able to take away, but we both put into the pot. And so many people are scared of what if. But you know what? There's that saying, what if I fall, but what if I fly? And if you can get into their head and show them the way that you're going to help them, that could be your next recruit. But you have to get down to the nitty gritty. You got to get in the dirt and figure out why they don't like us or don't like MLMs, period.
I love that, Kelly. And I'm just going to give a quick example. One time I did encounter it. I take my statement back. I was doing a buddy drive. I do an annual buddy drive for kids who are severely abused and they're going through therapy, intense therapy. And so I made a post in our military community asking for support for donations for the buddies. And then we also deliver pajamas every year to each child. And so there was one lady that I found out after the fact that she has a hatred for MLMs. And what I learned is she just has a hatred for herself in general. She didn't just hate MLMs. She was just a nasty, rotten, not kind person. And so I didn't engage with her, but what she did is she publicly embarrassed me. She made a post and said, hey, please don't contribute to Teresa's buddy drive. She didn't know me. And she said, instead, here's a direct link. If you want to support these children, 100% of your money can go directly to them. Teresa profits, she earns trips and blah, blah, blah. And I was crushed. I mean, I was in tears. And that same day we were doing a tour of the facility, to just kind of show everyone what they were supporting. And I spoke with the staff and I told them, I said, I know that you all approached me, but I think I need to kind of close this buddy drive because this is what's going on. And they said, absolutely not. We approached you. We can give these kids money and put it in their hands. That's not love. That's not the warmth. It's not, for them, they thought it was therapeutic to have these buddies to take with them to their future homes. They're like, we're going to do this. And let me tell you, ever since then, I have no issues. She actually did me a favor because people felt so bad for me and the kids that I never have any problems getting any of those children buddies. As a matter of fact, after she did that, people were donating 10 and, how much more do you need, And so basically kindness overrules. And so I never said anything to her. I never asked her why she hated me, why she hated buddies, why she hated Sensi or anything. It didn't matter. What mattered was the love, the generosity, the kindness of our community pulling together. So sometimes you have to ignore that. The other thing I want to say is when I look at my peers, Kelly and Emily and everybody, I can name everyone's name, and I saw their Facebook posts. and saw what they were doing with their groups and how they were like, oh my gosh, this person joined, and and now they earned this trip. Or I had a director that joined and unfortunately was diagnosed with cancer, and this ended up being a blessing. And so people just started seeing. It wasn't what we were individually telling them. They just started watching Scentsy in our community, and we were different. And through that, is how, we start building our teams. Okay, I want to go ahead and move on to brick by brick. Thank you for the questions that poured in, but we want to make sure that we deliver this content to you all. I am going to share my screen, and if I can get anybody, a volunteer that wants to kind of go over the brick by brick incentive, I'm going to show a flyer, and it's just going to kind of walk us through in summary what we need to do. It's important to know what this incentive is. When does it start? When does this segment end? And what are our rewards? Okay, so let me just share this real quick. One moment. All right, so we're going to share my screen. Start broadcast. All right, and just bear with me for just a moment. It's going to pop up. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, that's probably the best that I could do. Can you see that? Would anyone like to go over the incentive that starts now, build your team? See if I can. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I could. Anyone ready to go over it? I know that this isn't, it's kind of.
Teresa, we can see it, and I can head this up if you'd like for me to.
Please.
Okay, I hope I don't cut out. So this incentive is pretty cool. First time that since he's done anything like this, basically they're going to have a new qualification for us every month starting today. If you earn, when you earn all 3 months, you get the big prize, which is a 2-piece Scentsy branded luggage set, or your choice of a pair of custom Vans, which I don't know if Teresa has. There's one of the pairs. I think there's 6 pairs, 8 pairs, something like that. I don't know if Teresa has that photo to show, but they're all so cute. I have no idea how I'm going to choose. Or a $200 product credit. Now that's the grand prize. So you have to earn February, March, and April to get to choose the grand prize. We know what February's qualifications are. We don't know March and we don't know April, but February's is to get someone certified. So you have to have sponsored them January 1st through, I believe her screen is kind of, there it is. Thank you. I was going to say March 31st, but I wanted to be sure. You have to sponsor someone brand new. I believe it's not a reinstate, not a roll up, but a brand new consultant from January 1st through March 31st and get them certified starting today. So if they certified last month, they don't count. That's okay. You got incentive points for them last month for the trip. You've got to go get some new people, but we just talked about 2 every month. So like I personally did sponsor 2 last month, neither of them certified. One of them is like, and I think she's on tonight, like $28 away. So I was, I'm really excited to see her certified this month. It's going to earn me that first brick. And then next month, they'll tell us the next brick. And then in April, they'll tell us the next brick. And so there's 3 different prizes, 1 every month. This month is that Scentsy streaming kit. It's a microphone, a ring light, and a clip to hold your microphone. We don't know what the prize is next month. We don't know what the qualification is next month, and we don't know it for April either, but take it 1 month at a time, go kill it. Don't count yourself out if you don't earn this month, but you can. Has anyone earned yet? Did anyone have someone certified today? How exciting would that be? So yeah, that's brick by brick, 3 bricks to build up to that big O grand prize.
Okay, I promise I'm gonna get better with sharing my screen, you guys. But this is a learning curve for me. So thank you so much, Amber. And so here's the deal. We are going to have, again, brick by brick, and there's going to be 3 bricks. The first brick begins today. And that's why we wanted to go over this topic. Even though we're not experts or whatever, we have the information on our news tab. You can always watch this replay or share the replay, and you too can get the same information that we have by going to your news tab and checking out the brick by brick promotion. The first incentive begins March 1st. and is or the February 1st and will end March 31st. I love this because you're not overwhelmed. Like you got to do all these things. You have to do one possible thing, which is, you know, recruit, sponsor one new team member, you know, between now and March 31st, or like Amber said, if they've already joined January 1st, they're eligible. They just need to promote to certify between February 1st and March 31st. The next one is going to be announced on or before April the 1st. So we're not going to have anything new in March, but April the 1st, so we're not overwhelmed, we will have the next announcement from what I understand. Then the next one is going to be on or before June the 1st, and that is brick by brick. And we're starting this month. The theme is build your team. So that's all we have to focus on. If you feel like you struggle in that area with sponsoring, I want to kick this over to Debbie Pitts Palmer. If someone is struggling in the area of sponsoring, what is one or two quick tips that you can offer them to learn more about sponsoring and to get stronger in that fear or that block that they have?
Okay, guys. Yeah, that's what I love. I love sponsoring. First thing you have to do is be consistent and keep it simple. You know, even with the words that you use when you're asking people to start Scentsy, I find that the easiest way to get people to start is when you offer them to start at no cost. That's the easiest way to get their attention. You know, if they volunteer and say, yeah, I'll try it at no cost, you can always still give them the option to choose the $99 kit. I call it the big kit option or the little kit option. Give them options because sometimes they may choose the big kit. And when you find people asking how they can start at no cost, you know, start with getting them to set up a group. The basic things that you would normally do when you're hosting a party. Same thing. Super easy. That's the easiest way to get somebody to join. I've got lots of YouTube videos, you know, with those tips.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. You know, you might be strong in sales and you might say, ooh, I'm a little scary or timid of sponsoring. Then you know what you need to be doing, as Carol would tell us, you need to turn off Netflix because Netflix is not going to pay your electric bill or your mortgage or your car note. And you need to turn on a podcast or, you know, or any type of Scentsy training. There's all kinds of groups out there. There's YouTube videos where you could just Google Scentsy sponsoring and click on videos. That's what I do, you know, to learn, because it's just like learning how to cook or learning how to swim or learning how to ride a bike, or if you want to become a doctor, whatever, you got to learn. And if you're not willing to learn, then you're just going to be left in that fear and you're not going to make progress. And that's what we want to change here on Dreamstruck. We want to see you all break out of that fear. So let me see here. Ooh. Any other tips that you guys have about the brick by brick? One thing I do want to say is that, well, I'll see if someone else wants to speak on this, but they say to ask at least 10 people, you know, to join. And so you guys know where I'm going with that. Who wants to take the lead about asking 10 people to join?
I can go. So when we're talking about the 10, I want to say it's called the 10-1 rule. For every 10 people you ask, one person is going to say yes. Now, I encourage you guys, and I encouraged my team last month to order the extra catalogs or order the extra showcase brochures while they're on sale. And I always order an extra pack for this very, very purpose, and I get them all labeled and ready to go, and I make join packets. Now, I have a little display table right by my front door, and every single month I do 20. So it's almost a whole full pack, 20 different join packets ready to go out the door, because I want to sponsor 2 people a month, just like everybody's been drilling 2 people a month, because if you want to make life-changing money, this is the key to success. 2 people a month, $2,000 a month. And I want to say it's a 6-figure income, if I'm not mistaken. I know the income disclosure is around here somewhere, but 2, and I want to say it's 2, but it's really not. It's like 6. So 2, if I do 10 join packets, and I know that I have to get them out of my house this month, not even a week, but this month, that's like 2 or 3 a week, right? and I'm having at least 2 or 3 join conversations a week, that's something that I can follow up with. The key to all of this, you guys, is in the follow-up. You can't just go hand out a bunch of join packets and think that everybody's going to come join your team. I can promise you it's not going to happen, because I was that girl. I would leave my stuff at gas stations. I would just leave samples everywhere. Don't do that either. You're wasting your money. Just give me your money if you want to just give it away like that. But don't just leave stuff anywhere. Do not hand anything to anybody unless you have a way to follow up. One trick that I always use is I tell them that I'm out of business cards, and I say, hey, here's my Facebook, find yourself on Facebook, and then I'll connect with you. That way they can see how I work. I don't want to say work, but it's like my spider web, and I don't have to be super salesy, but you can see my Facebook. If you guys are my friends, I try to keep it entertaining. I don't have Scentsy plastered all over the place, but you want to know more, and then you're going to come to my inbox and you're going to ask me about it, and then it's game over for you. But I'm going to change your life, so it's a win-win for both of us. So the 10-1, go ahead and make a whole big bulk of them, because you don't want to be running out the door like, oh my God, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, I need to go make a join packet. If you do them in bulk, maybe you want to do 50, get 50 of them done. Go get 2 packs, do them with friends, and take pictures, and then post them on your Facebook. Who wants to have a join packet? I seen Mary, you came through your message real quick. My join packets, they always have, I either use a catalog or a showcase brochure, whatever I have. Sometimes I'll even use product flyer sheets, because you get like 75 of them in a little thing. They're super cheap. For $9, you get 3 of those. I think it's 50 maybe. I always put a scent circle in mine, and I made these cute stickers on Avery that says be a game changer. I usually have some kind of candy in there. I have a rack card. There was actually, was that today that somebody did the Scentsy training on the rack card? I think it was, maybe I could be wrong, but there's a rack card in there, and it talks about me, my business. On the back of it, you flip it over, things that I've learned, why I joined, all these. I've done the trifold thing too. So that's another option, a trifold brochure on Vistaprint. And I've done the rack card. Like I said, I really like the rack card because I can put them in my thank you cards too. And they fit in a perfect, nice, long size envelope. So, I mean, if you really wanted to cut costs down, you could use a rack card, use a product flyer sheet and a scent circle, and do it all for a stamp. So if you were trying to just work with what you have, the product flyer sheet, monthly flyer special, probably, a scent circle, all that will fit in the long envelope for a stamp. So I learned a trick from the post office, and I don't know if I have it either.
And Kelly, what's the rack card? I don't know if you have one there, but they're asking.
I can show you one sec here. So this will fit in a normal size catalog. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this would be genius to send in your join packets too. I'm actually putting them in everything I send out. I know, Mary, he's crazy. My husband just had to come get him. So this, your monthly flyer special. Let me grab you guys a rack card, because I actually have some made so I can open it up real quick.
Okay, while you do that, sometimes we are like just really focused on sales. So when you're sending orders or whatever, you're sending out, you know, things to get more sales. With every order that I have going out, I don't care who it is. It's not up for us to decide whether or not they want to join. We need to make sure that every single person gets an invite, you know, to join our teams. So this is a little postcard, and it has the top 10 reasons to join Scentsy, and then it has my little caricature on there. So I make sure with every order, you know, that I'm planting seeds. So go ahead with the rack card.
Here it is. You guys can kind of see it. I made this on Vistaprint. The template was done for me. At the top, I include all the fun pictures with me and my Scentsy people doing whatever. Right here, thank you so much for your order. Very basic stuff. I don't want to go through it. How I got into this, it's my story in a paragraph. Backside, it's about me, which is all the incentives that I've earned with the years and where I went. Why join our team, a little paragraph there, and I can put these in our Dreamstruck chat, and your directors and superstar directors can share them with you if they'd like. What's involved and what's in it for you, because that's really what they want to know, is what's in it for you. Obviously my information's on it, but I can stick these into an envelope just like this. Got my Scentsy Club information, return address, but here is my thank you, but we can switch this up and make this into a join packet too, with just maybe another piece of information. But we have your monthly flyer that you get in your scent of the month. This was from yesterday. So I had my bring back my buy flyer. my rack card, it already says thank you on it, so I really don't have to go much further than that. And a scent circle, which usually I write a handwritten note on there, but I didn't have a person to send this to, but I prepare these ahead of time. So I have, I don't know, 10 of these already done at a time because I usually do my thank yous once a week. So I have a bunch of these ready to go. They just need an address and I need to write on the scent circle. Now, if I want to make this into a join packet, all I got to do is slap a sticker on the scent circle that says be a game changer or some positive something, and throw something about joining in here, which my join packets, I can talk to you guys about whatever I stick in them. I forgot what I did. I just redid them all with catalogs. So they're down in the basement and it'll take me forever to go find them because it's a hot mess down there.
No, that's really good stuff. And one of the things too that Debbie Pitts Palmer does is she's doing a lot of things virtually, especially when events shut down. And so she was utilizing networking groups. There's so many networking groups on Facebook that you could, be a part of. There's all kinds of weird groups. There's groups for dogs, groups for moms, groups for military, groups for people who love certain toasters. There's a group for everything. And if the admin rules allow you to make a business post, or you see someone struggling, looking for a job, or, or whatever the case may be, if you're posting in there and kind of making some connections, you can get new team members that way as well. So, there's here's the challenge that I see is when you come out the gate and you've sponsored people and you're doing well, and then all of a sudden you've depleted your pool, it's kind of like, I don't know, no one wants to join my team. The same people may not want to, but that's why it's important to party, right? Because when you have a party, your host is doing what? They're bringing a whole new audience for you to network with. That's why we're in network marketing. If you're not partying, at least doing 1 or 2 parties a month, then you're just sharing and recycling to the same people. And so the goal is week after week, month after month, is you should be being introduced to a new audience. And you do that via parties, virtual, you do that via basket parties, making sure that they write their information, their contact information on the order forms. You do that via events. There's so many different ways, but if you're just focusing on one avenue and hoping that, the same people will change their mind next week, likelihood of that happening is not possible. But the likelihood of you meeting new people every single day through these networking groups or parties or whatever is much greater. So I think we really nailed it with the brick by brick. I don't know if we're going to have time to get the Scentsy Club 2.0. We might need to get an expert on next week. What do you guys say about that? Because I really don't want to rush that. It's an amazing new program, and we want to make sure that we do it justice. And we want to also have some time for some Q&A here. We don't want to miss that. We always want Dreamstruck to be interactive. So Carol, if you don't mind watching the chat and see if there's any questions that we can kind of wrap up with tonight. We've got about 10 more minutes to go. But let's talk about Harry Potter. I don't know if Dorothy is on. I know that her kiddos had soccer, but can you touch base on Harry Potter in February?
I am on. Thank you, Teresa. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, because we came home from soccer and so I'm in the car, but we do what we got to do. So yes, we heard last night from Dan that it is confirmed, Dan and Lacey, that Harry Potter Redemption will be towards the end of February. If I recall correctly, he did not give an exact date yet. So be looking out for that. But I know that's going to be huge for everyone to get those redemptions in. He even mentioned or suggested for us to all reach out to everyone who had done the pre-orders with us to let them know that it's coming up so they can get prepared to redeem those within this month as soon as it goes live. So we don't want to forget that. That's going to be a great opportunity for all of us to get PRV in February for whenever we are able to redeem the Harry Potter pre-orders.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And I want to say the week of February 21st is something that's resonating with me. I don't think he mentioned it on the call, but it's supposed to be somewhere on our PWS, and I don't know if it's under our account under pre-orders that kind of gives a potential date, but I can tell you that That's what I remember. So someone correct me if I'm wrong. And also, if you can answer this question, what if someone just joined last month and they're like, oh my gosh, all my peeps want Harry Potter. Will they be able to order February?
I was trying to listen out for that myself last night, and I am not certain. Did he say that there will be extras available after pre-orders are redeemed?
Anyone can chime in.
I was under the understanding that all pre-orders will be filled, and I don't know, I felt like there would be some after that, but they were definitely making sure pre-orders were filled because not everybody, kind of what Teresa was saying, get them prepared, because what if they don't have the money now? Then they lose out on their pre-orders, and then there's these pre-orders up for grabs.
Love it. Love it. And check this out, you guys. I'm going to turn this around. If you have pre-orders and you go to your accounts on your, oh man, I don't know if y'all can see this because my dang background. But anyway, on your PWS under the pre-orders tab, it says Hogwarts Scentsy Warmer and the Hogwarts houses. It tells you the price, $84 for the whole kit and caboodle, the warmer and the bars. And it tells you it's $19 for the 4-bar set. It says estimated availability February 21st, 2022. So if you wait until February 20th, 2022, people may not readily have $84 available or whatever that balance is. You need to let them know now, like be the purple cow, be the great customer service representative that you are. And today, tomorrow, say, hey, just a heads up, we're looking at an estimated launch on February 21st. This is what your balance owed is. And we are going to be ready to put it in as soon as we get go time. Hear about go time, because here's the deal. It's going to be open for a while. You really want this PRV in February. You just do. This is going to be an amazing month. March is going to have its own extra, bells and whistles, but get that PRV, this month in February. Your customers are excited about it. They don't want to know at the last minute because some of them have forgotten about it because we did this back in July. So I don't know that there's going to be any availability extra at this time, because when Scentsy was forecasting, they didn't really, I think they understood the assignment that Harry Potter was huge, but we took it to a whole nother level, and I think we kind of sold out what they anticipated for pre-orders and the extras. So we'll get some more clarity on that. I just don't want anyone to get their hopes up high that there will be any extras this time. So, but that doesn't mean in the future that, Scentsy may not be prepared later on. We don't know. We know what y'all know. So, okay. What else? Okay, Carol, did you see if there's any questions at 7:53? We've got about 7 minutes. And so I want to make sure we can answer any questions.
Nope, they did not. No, everybody was just saying how excited they are for Harry Potter, and but no questions.
Okay, great. And so February, do you have any tips? I mean, it's different because before we didn't have a new catalog, and February now we do. And I know some people were kind of like with the Christmas hangover, some in January. February is completely different. So how can people maximize their business and their efforts this month? Tossing it back to you, Carol.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like,
Okay.
what are we doing? Tips for February. Just continue to make sure all your customers know there's a brand new catalog. I am super excited to have a new catalog in February. I pushed super hard for this. So I'm the one that like campaigned for this change, because January, everyone wanted a sale right after Christmas. I love having the 10% off in January to clearance everything out. February, people are ready for new clean scents, because a lot of people are organizing, cleaning their home. And so and they're done with Christmas scents, cinnamon and all that stuff for most people. And they're ready to hop into spring. So I really pushed hard for this change, and I love every minute of it. I purchased the scents. They're all fantastic. So you guys just need to get those scents under your people's noses, whether you make felt samples, whether you just cut a bar up and into little chunks and send them in the mail. I just make sure your customers are smelling these scents. Get the scratch and sniff stickers, whatever ones are available at the moment, because I know some of them are sold out, but they are coming back. I saw on the product list. And just get scratch and sniffs. My customers just got their mailers today. And so I have people texting me, they're like, fudge, I love all these scents, but I don't need any more bars right now, And so they were like, curse you. I hate, I hate your mailers, but I love them at the same time. So it is good. This catalog is good. The scents are great. And so, but it is the smell that sells. So you guys just have to get people's noses going. That's what I got.
Okay, great. There's a question that came through and I think my screen's ready. Thanks, Carol. How can we check on our pre-order status? So if you go to your PWS, and if you do in fact have pre-orders, whether you put them in or your customers put them in, you'll click on, and this will vary on your mobile device or your laptop or tablet, but you'll click on your accounts tab on your PWS, not your workstation. This is where I'm at. And then when you click on your accounts tab, you'll see account all orders, pre-orders. So you'll just click on pre-orders and it shows me that I have 24 bundles for the warmer and just the bars. And then I have 12 orders for just the wax collections. I didn't realize I had so many Harry Potter fans. I haven't even watched one movie yet. I don't even know what it's all about. But anyway, anybody else, put that in the chat. Has everyone watched Harry Potter yet? Yes or no? Put a number 1 if you've seen any of the Harry Potter series, and put a number 2 if you're like me and you haven't. I don't know anything about these houses or Hogwarts or whatever. So it's a little bit of a mixture, 1s and 2s. So 1 has seen it. Number 2's never seen Harry Potter. I think I need to. All right.
Hey, Teresa, I have a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
Is that okay? Did you place your customers pre-orders? Because I just want to make sure moving forward. Okay. So if your customers did their own pre-orders, you are not going to be able to see that under that tab on your PWS like Teresa showed. So I had my customers place their own because I'm going to open them up a shopping link when they go to redeem it so they can share it with their friends and get rewards since they're having to pay the shipping anyway. That's just another beauty of this business. We can all work at different ways. That's what I chose to do. But all that to say, if your customers place their own pre-orders, you are not going to be able to see that. That is a system that you need to develop moving forward. So I made a list of all of my people. I think that we are going to be carbon copied on, or blind carbon copied, whatever, on the emails. I think that is something that we are doing moving forward, but just start thinking about wrapping your brain around a system to keep up with your pre-orders. Because like tomorrow, that's what I've got to do, is reach out to my people and let them know, hey, save your money because it's about to be available.
And I'll just add, if you didn't have a system like me, because I had all these come in and then I realized after, I have no list of all these people because I did the same thing as Amber. I didn't place it for people. So go back into your order history. You want to go back when the pre-order was open, maybe around, like, I think it was October or November. And you want to type in your workstation order history, product name, and then type in Hogwarts or whatever you saw in Teresa's thing. It was either Hogwarts or Harry Potter. And anybody that made a purchase or made a pre-order deposit with that will show up in your customer purchase history. So you can go through and either write it down, put it in an Excel spreadsheet. So at least have all of that right in front of you so that if you didn't create a system beforehand, you can go back and you can look. That's how I ended up doing it.
So I have such an unsophisticated system, but this is how I've always tracked my orders, like whether it's my cleaning buckets, the classic clean that, we sold out a week ago. Let me show you guys what I do. And I do this all the time and it just works. So I have my VIP group with my customers and I usually launch like whatever our collection is. In this case, it was Harry Potter, so I drew all the excitement, told them all about it, when it starts, when it ends. And then all of a sudden I started collecting names and I have a system. When they pay me, they get a green check mark. When it's delivered, I put a truck, an emoji. So again, so unsophisticated, but it works. And then I have 3 categories here: the warmer only, the wax bar bundle only, and then the whole kit and caboodle. So I have everyone's name, and guess what? It's always there. So when it's 6 months later, I can go back there and then I can tag them. They start getting notifications. It's just a system for me that's in one place, and it doesn't matter if it's Stitch, Harry Potter, clean buckets. This is how I always do it. You know, when I have a LTO collection, it's just in one spot, and I can track payment and I can track, you know, delivery, and my customers kind of know what the check mark is. And so when they see that there's not a check mark, they're like, ooh, I need to pay her. And if they don't pay me, then obviously I don't order. So I can always go back to that. So anyway, that's what I do. Unsophisticated, very simplistic, one-stop shop for me. Okay, it is 8 o'clock and we want to honor your time. We know that we have families that we need to take care of, and some of us, and spouses and whatever. And we also have a business to operate. So we really do enjoy getting together every Tuesday and being able to share wisdom and tips, and also to be able to collaborate and make this interactive. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this just as much as we are as well. We did run out of time for Scentsy 2.0, and so we will definitely make that happen this month. And we just didn't want to cut this short because I think the brick by brick is so important. It was just released today. And we also want to say congratulations to everyone that earned one of the other levels from the past incentive, level 1, 2, 3, or even top 75. Congratulations to each and every one of you. We will see you all back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. Bring a Scentsy friend, on your team, so that way they can also benefit. And also share the replay. You can even, take a little clip or whatever, put it in your stories, so your team members can kind of see what they're missing out on here. I hope that you guys have a great night. And to all the panelists, again, thank you so much for your time, for your dedication. And we want to see more people earn this incentive than ever before. All right. And you heard that video from Orville, so you know the importance. It's not about the microphone, just about that. That's great. It's not just about the ring light. This is awesome. Or the shoes or the luggage. It's about building a sustainable business where you can control your income long term. All right. So you guys have a great Tuesday evening. Continue dreaming, and we'll be right back next week. Y'all have a great night.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Good night.
Love your
you guys.
hair too.